All right, can you get back here?
Yes.
Cool. So, there's a big thing going on with tier lists.
Okay.
So, I figure what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a tier list and go over my review of what should be number one, what should be the bottom.
For Godzilla?
No, so it's not Godzilla. It's something that I feel we're more passionate about.
Okay.
It is anime waifus. So,
God
right...
damn it.
Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17.
And Greyshot151 here.
And no, we're not doing anime waifus. Though Rem is number one in my book. We instead are going to be doing the top Godzilla movies. And then maybe something else next episode. So tune in for that. But for right now, we did promise ourselves that we would rank all the Godzilla films.
Yes, now...
And then nobody watched it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do it like this. So
exactly.
Thank you, Drew and Alex, for pointing this out so we can finally put up our Godzilla list.
Yeah, this is very exciting, mainly because, we get to go through all the Godzilla movies and put our final stamp on these movies.
And we're going to go through and rank, of course, the top tier, highest quality Godzilla films with the low tier trash.
Yes.
And we're going to rank them based on personal opinion on the matter.
And quality.
Their own quality, their own, popularity, and also, and this is very important, their impact on the Godzilla franchise. And also, of course, best fights, etc. So, if this is different from yours, that's fine. This is just our opinion.
Yes. Top Godzilla movies, starting with Godzilla.
I guess, are we going with this one first?
We're going with that one first. Put it at the bottom.
Godzilla Planet Eater.
Right at the bottom.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
What a way to start off with. A piece of shit anime trilogy.
Yep.
So next we have
Ghidorah the three-headed monster. I'd place that as a solid A, maybe B. What do you think?
This movie is brought the whole team up premise.
Yes.
Everything. The whole plot of the princess being assassinated, stuff like that, it's like a side thing, but they kind of work it in decently well.
Not to mention the fact that Ghidorah is menacing and
Right.
is built up throughout the entire film. So
Right.
let's put it A.
And the final fight between all three monsters versus Ghidorah is satisfying.
Can we also say that the individual fights are also each different, unique? Like
Yes.
Godzilla with the bridge, Mothra trying to fight the best it can.
Rodan
Rodan just smacking into it at full speed. Glorious.
Now, next up, we have...
Destroy All Monsters. I think that one's a solid B. Because the final fight is glorious.
Yes.
But it's a lot, and some of the other monster sequences are cool, but they're not fighting each other. They're fighting the military.
Somebody brought up a good point. And I'll bring up Alex the Hunted on this one.
Yeah.
It shows off a lot more rocket ship than monsters.
Yes.
So
that's like Monster Zero, though.
Well, Monster Zero has its own problems. It doesn't have an amazing fight to kind of...
but it does. It's basically a lot of rocket ship stuff. So I would completely agree. Put it at B.
Okay, but we will say its impact is it literally brought every single kaiju monster together.
Yes.
So it literally is the Avengers Endgame of its time.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Next up, we have
GMK.
Maybe we should stop going higher tier and start going some low stuff. Godzilla 2000.
Throw that as C.
Yeah.
It's not utter trash, but it does have... There's a lot wrong with it.
If you want bad CGI, boy, that movie has you covered.
Yeah, it did not...
Orc is a cool idea.
Not executed well.
No, it's not in the fight.
Characters were, probably given decent lines, but they weren't executed well. Let's go. Godzilla, that's easy. That's just S.
Yeah.
That shit's classic. It's the original.
It's classic. The movie, both the American version and the Japanese version are both great in their own right.
Yep.
So the Japanese one, of course, is better, but the American one still holds up really well.
Yeah.
So I'll put it at that point.
Speaking of, let's go with Mechagodzilla 2.
This one?
Yeah, let's throw that one in. So that one we didn't review in our series, but I will say...
Where does it go?
I'd probably put a solid B tier.
Yes.
Because the fight is entertaining for the most part. The human story is kind of wonky, especially with the baby Godzilla.
Rodan vs. Godzilla is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite fight in the whole film because it's less beam spam and more tooth and claw, which is very rare in the
Heisei
series. Yeah.
Heisei 90s era.
Yeah.
Showa 50s, 60s, Millennium 2000s, and now the
Reiwa?
The Reiwa period, which
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong or right. It's just yes.
So let's go. So I agree with that. Also,
yes.
Mecha G is pretty good.
Yes.
The baby
the
Godzilla.
design,
Baby Godzilla's done a little bit more.
What about the flying
proper
robot pterodactyl? Come on, bro.
Okay, let's ignore that fact. Speaking of ignoring it, let's watch Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Okay, that is better than God Eater. I wish we should probably have added an F
Here's
tier,
the thing.
but yeah.
Here's the thing. Yes, you're absolutely right. There should be an F tier for Godzilla.
Yes.
But that being said, this movie is so convoluted and bad. The only reason this movie is even decent is Jet Jaguar.
Yes.
And Megalon's dumb personality and Jet Jaguar.
Yep.
Got like the whole fight at the end is okay.
Yep.
But it's still hot garbage.
Yep.
This movie is pure garbage.
It's
It's not terrible like Godzilla, but it's hot, fun trash.
Okay, let's go with the next one. GMK.
All right.
That one's S tier. Easy. That one is like probably the best Godzilla movie in the 2000s.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
You are, I would say, 95% correct.
Yes.
Some of the CGI doesn't hold up. Some of it, and I'm being honest, they may have blown a little bit.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah, some sequences are Mothra, kind of like, eh. But I do like the cinematography. I like the plot dynamic. I like the story.
It is the most
and it can be a
interesting
little
plot.
convoluted, especially with King Ghidorah being the good guy, which is something you don't expect.
Yeah,
it's a nice twist, even though that literally nothing can fight Godzilla except for himself.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's like the end of the lesson.
But it does have Baragon, and I have a fan of Baragon, so I'll put
yeah,
it
the
as
Baragon
tier.
fight was top notch.
All right.
Godzilla's Revenge. Put it. Okay, I understand.
I'll put it at C.
Put it at C. I will
Okay.
understand this. Put that at the
I
C
will.
level.
Here's the thing. I thought about it, and you are right. As a Godzilla film, it does not work. But as a small children's film, like you are, as the child you are, it's fine at that tier.
I take offense to this.
But again, it is equally dumb. But the idea and concept of it is a little better put together than Megalon, and especially the anime.
It's just like a fun movie. I'd rather watch 60 minutes of that than any of the movies we currently have in D.
Speaking of anime, let's just finish off the anime.
Yeah, just throw it in there. Just throw the anime movies.
Even this one?
Even that one.
Yeah.
That one, the only reason it's good is because you think it might get better in the sequel, and it doesn't. It gets worse. So, yeah, those all go into the trash heap.
Yeah, again, it's as an idea, you're like, oh my god, this is a cool idea. And then Mechagodzilla, literally, Terror Mechagodzilla City does not have Mechagodzilla in it at all. False advertising.
Yep.
And bombed at the Japanese box office. So that tells you how bad it is. Shin Godzilla, #1 in the Japanese box office next to Your Name, I believe. Literally, this Godzilla movie comes out, bombs. That tells you something.
Yeah, because it wasn't good. Like...
Now, I guess next up, we should probably go with the black sheep of the film filmography here. Here's the thing. I would give it C tier. Here's my why. It is equally dumb. It is equally
It's
dumb.
so fun. It's entertaining.
It is a movie that I can go back to and it personally enjoy. But that being said, I will personally admit the movie is garbage. And it is not Godzilla. It's a Zilla movie. They renamed it. It's Zilla. But Matthew Broderick, I think, is fine in it. I like the French commandos.
Yeah.
The intro is I like. There's some moments in the movie I like, but it is absurd. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's Roland Emmerich going Roland Emmerich crazy in goddamn America.
I also just watched a recent look back on the movie, and I actually some of the miniatures, like they have a lot of miniatures in the movie, and they are shockingly good.
Some of the CGI I think looked fine.
Yeah,
but
so as a dumb big budget blockbuster,
Yeah.
it was fine. But as a Godzilla movie, it was not.
No,
and it wasn't a Godzilla movie.
We should so yes, C tier. I know people are gonna say blasphemy, but again, that's our opinion.
Yeah.
One thing we will say.
By the way, I'm almost tempted to put it at B tier. Is that how close it is? Because it's just a movie I would watch, and it's.
We will not be putting Godzilla King of the Monsters because we don't know how good or bad that
just
movie is.
Just throw it on S tier. Just going on a gut. Just throw it
No,
up
no,
there.
no. I'm not gonna add it in.
Just throw it up there. Come on.
We don't know how it's gonna go.
Just throw it up there.
We don't know. No matter how many times you say it, I'm not adding it up.
Okay, then let's go to Godzilla Tokyo Sos next.
Oh, I was gonna. All right, fine. Okay. So personally, I like this movie and I dislike some parts of this movie. Here's my rationale. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is great in this. Mothra fighting Godzilla is good. I actually like some aspects. I like the idea of Mothra challenging the humans.
Yes.
That is a cool concept. Unfortunately, if you compare it to the new story, I think the new main character is blander than the female. I think the military is a little more pushed to the side a little bit. The whole terror, it's a good finale, sort of wrapping up the plot points of the first one.
It's more of an action-packed second half to the first part, which was Godzilla X Mechagodzilla, and I think it deserves to be in an A because the miniatures are awesome.
Yeah.
Kiryu is the ending with Kiryu going berserk and flying off Godzilla
is great.
Is great.
The whole goodbye Shinji. I still remember that.
Yeah, I still I didn't cry, but I got like a little emotional because I was like,
Mothra larva defeat Major Godzilla.
Watching Mothra burn into fire, like there are a lot of great moments. And the miniatures, again, I focus on the miniatures because I loved the special effects of that movie. You cannot give
the whole chair calling Mothra is a bit weird. And also they have a callback to the original Mothra film, which, by the way, this list does not have other Toho properties. Otherwise, most likely, by the way, Mothra would probably be, I would say, B tier. And
Mothra might be A. Mothra was way more, actually no, B. Yeah, you're right.
And actually, A or B. Rodan's definitely S.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rodan would be S, because holy god, that movie was so much better than I thought.
Yep.
Any case, so let's see. Next, let's bring up Shin Godzilla. That's an A. I personally.
I'm gonna knock it down to an A.
Oh, right, S. Sorry, A.
I would put that movie as a B. Because it's so bureaucratic.
I loved this movie. I love the bureaucracy. I love the politics. I'm so invested in Game of Thrones right now because it went back to politics. So the fact that this movie's all got politics with Godzilla mixed in with it and ever changing, I love. And when Godzilla is in it, he's so destructive and so amazingly powerful that I absolutely buy the terror he inflicts on Japan.
Okay.
The only thing I will roll my eyes every single time is the whole I want to be the president of the United States bit. But
anything with the human characters, I do not care for in that movie at all.
So speaking of human characters, let's go tear Mechagodzilla because it had some human characters that were okay. And some human characters.
To put that at a B. I'm tempted. I think it should go B.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
I think the final bit of this movie is good.
I think the woman, the daughter, is the other emotional core aspect of that in her father's relationship.
But remember, I personally am gonna put this at a B tier because I think we know what's gonna be at C if we put it here.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the first one, or the Cosmo Monster, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's a C.
That is a C. People probably are furious at us for that, but rewatch that movie. The first 10 minutes is good. The last 10 minutes is good. The entire middle movie is so convoluted and stupid. I am just, oh my god.
Not to mention the fact
it's not even funny. It's just boring, and that's the thing.
It's boring. Yeah, again, the
Mechagodzilla, Anguirus, Godzilla, King Caesar's a wimp, which again you could say that's funny, and I do, but the whole middle portion with the humans is just boring. Godzilla's off on an island just doing like a charge thing, and I don't really care.
Yeah, no, it's like the whole middle portion is boring, and you just can't. You just want to like get to the fight. Yeah.
Well, speaking of fights, let's go Godzilla X Mechagodzilla.
Right up there. I think it's just. I think
it is slightly better than Tokyo SOS, but here's the thing.
Akane is a great character.
Yes, the finale of this, people will be like, "Oh, it doesn't really have a finale," because again, it's like Godzilla just leaves. There's no, it's not a final victory.
It's a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
Godzilla isn't beaten, but they can't kill him, but he is left.
They actually pushed him out of the city.
Yes.
And the whole character arc with the main lead is fantastic. I really like her dynamic.
Yep.
And again, the final, the fight between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla is so good.
Yes.
I will absolutely put this. That being said, Tokyo SOS is a good finale to it.
Can we also say that the score that these two movies used is probably one of my
it's great.
The classic Godzilla theme is great. Don't get me wrong. The dun 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 dun. But that one is just the drums and it's just ominous and it works.
Excuse me, good sir. That score
also went with Godzilla X Mechagodzilla.
Here's the thing. We watched that movie. And I originally was like, there's no way Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla is worse than Godzilla's Revenge. It is. It is boring, convoluted, stupid. Mechagodzilla and Godzilla's fight is great. The dynamic they have is amazing. Mechagodzilla has more personality than a lot of other monsters in the Godzilla universe. But that being said, it's one fight. The swarm battle is not interesting.
Over in like 5 minutes.
Gamera 2 had a better swarm fight, and that came out years earlier. Again, I can't, and also the main male lead is a jackass, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, we're not wrong. A hacker that somehow.
And the black hole is so stupid.
The shooting the black hole.
Let's fire a miniature black hole at the Earth, guys. When it suck in the Earth, because I've seen so many sci-fi movies, that's exactly what it does.
Yep, that would exactly what it would do. Next up, let's go with Godzilla 1985.
Oh, okay. So this movie reinvigorated Godzilla. I think it's not low tier. I don't think it's high tier. I think calling it a B film is justifiable.
Because it's a Godzilla solo movie, and I'm not a fan of the design. I mean, the despair and ominous
tones are fine. Super X is a cool like robot. It's definitely 80s. That's what I'll say. And the whole idea of Godzilla attacking and then blurring into the volcano is a nice entrance. I just don't think it's the height of a comeback people wanted, but I don't think it's as low as people say it kind of call it.
Yeah.
And also I think like even the American version, if you've seen with when they bring back Raven Burr
and Coca-Cola,
he brings a little more he brings a little more gravitas to it than I feel like they were trying to do, but he kind of helps cement that B tier where it's not amazing, but it's not terrible. It's just fine.
Also, beating him by bird call is kind of I never bought that.
I mean, it's they try something. I'm not saying it's great, but also the whole Cold War aspect. Again, they tried.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Godzilla 2014 A.
A or A? Again,
just because of that middle portion, I think it's held back. But otherwise, many people were like, "Oh, the monster gets cut away." They stopped.
That final fight though is good.
It's built like Jaws.
Yeah.
And if you look at the movie like that and not putting your own expectations.
But it's Godzilla. We know what Godzilla looks like.
Yeah. It's still. The monster fights is awesome.
Yeah.
The Bryan Cranston does a
like
phenomenal job.
Up to the airport is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Airport to the paradrop into San Francisco is
slow.
Is very slow. And it's weird because it's your middle portion. You're like, isn't this supposed to be speeding up rather than slowing down? And then once they pick up back in the city, it gets great again.
Yes.
It's just that middle 20-30 minutes. Like, can we please speed things up?
Yeah, I would have cut that immediately. Yeah.
But still, character-wise, Bryan Cranston, again, and all the other characters are Bryan Cranston in the first 5 minutes does more character acting than 90% Godzilla films, and deserving like an emotional 100% response.
Afford Brody without him in the scene.
He smashes Brody in 5 minutes than Brody can do in the entire film.
Yeah.
So speaking of which,
Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Yeah, we should probably go over this. I feel like this is an A-tier movie. It brings a great finale to Godzilla. They literally do an amazing Godzilla Jr. and set up that whole progression way better than it had any right to be, especially after Space Godzilla. We'll get to that and how he looked. Godzilla goes out with a bang. He doesn't defeat Destroyer. The military does, because Godzilla literally is dying.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's cool. The military actually gets a win for once. Because when does that happen?
Yeah, not often. I think it's one of the few monsters that they've actually been able to kill next to, like, the Mothra from the Mysterian movie.
Oh, God.
When they use dynamite to cave it in.
I mean, there's very few monsters that the military wins against. And we'll get to maybe the next one. We'll cover the next.
For Dan as well. But in any case, there's a
lot of Mechagodzilla smashes Rodan.
It does have a lot of problems when it comes to human characters. Like, there are some cool ideas, like the Yamane, or
psychic connection and stuff like that.
Well, no. The guy that studies Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
The young he's interesting, but he kind of loses his character arc. There's a lot of people that lose their character arcs, and it doesn't really work to the end. Minus the psychic who has the connection to Junior. And
but Godzilla's design of him like getting ready, the whole idea of him literally causing him to the world, is so cool.
Fantastic.
I love that idea.
In regards to mark on the franchise, that one is definitely A tier.
Yep. By the way, we're trying to make sure we put only the best top tier quality in the S tier.
Yeah.
So next up, we have a movie that we made fun of for quite some time. I was going to bring this up. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
I think
we made fun of this movie.
We did.
And we were like, oh my god, how can it get worse? And truth be told, that movie actually stood up and became one of our favorites after watching all those Godzilla films for the action, the plot actually being a lot better,
the characters,
the cheese being there. But you know what? You can enjoy some cheesy moments and actually have some gravitas because it did have an emotional moment.
Throw it up to S. In regards to impact on the franchise, especially the moment with when the gentleman the commander has a small scene with Godzilla.
Yeah,
it's right up there.
But guys,
it has its problems.
All right, Godzilla versus Gigan.
Stock footage, hippie corn, guns.
I don't think it's D tier. I think it's C.
Yeah,
because Angus with Godzilla tag team is still a thumbs up in my book.
Yeah, and then the whole cockroach people thing is interesting.
Another alien invasion. Great.
Yeah.
The other weird thing is we have a giant Godzilla statue. Sure, why not?
Godzilla versus Ghidorah.
The sludge monster hippie.
I would actually put that as a B tier. Because it's Godzilla repeatedly comes in. He does engage in fight.
Yeah.
The human characters are interesting because, especially with the gentleman that gets scarred, there's like a human connection to the monster, and I like that. And the monster develops and grows over time, and you see the impact of that on the city. Also, it's a trippy movie, definitely made of the 70s. It's unlike any other Godzilla movie of its time, and it's not one I'd recommend to a first viewer. But if you're kind of interested in like the weirder Godzilla movies, this is definitely.
It was so weird that Toho saw the movie and asked the director, "What have you done?"
And it has flying Godzilla, so how can you argue with that?
I mean, to be fair, yeah, for just the impact of flying Godzilla. Oh my god, I can't wait for King of the Monsters. Let them have Godzilla fly like that. Maybe not. Speaking of a flying Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
C-tier.
This is hot. I mean, not garbage, but it's definitely the weirdest one.
Great.
They have a gorilla team that's trying to kill Godzilla with a
special bullet.
Special bullet that also they can use to control it. Which then Space Godzilla comes in. A terrorist organization tries to control Godzilla while Space Godzilla's there. They have a Mogera, which only the guys who pilot Mogera can go to that spot. They have Mothra's there. It's like all these weird subplots, and then it's like, okay, great.
Tons of weird subplots. Not a very memorable movie. The fights are interesting, but
Mogera's
Space Godzilla could be utilized way. At least Space Godzilla could be used a lot better, especially with how they set them up with like him intentionally imprisoning the baby Godzilla to lure Godzilla to fight him to prove who is better.
There's a lot of cool concepts. It's just executed so poorly.
Yes.
That it's like, okay.
Also, it's really the moment where Thunder Thighs became a thing.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that, especially for Space Godzilla.
Yep.
Speaking of, large items, how about large shrimp or large crab? I think it's a shrimp, right?
Okay, so this is one of the movies I was most excited for. I honestly think it's an A tier, but
I'm going B.
Yeah. Put it as a B because
I know a lot of people are like, Greyshot, this is where the franchise starts sucking. It's like, well, oh god. The gods are angry at our chosen list.
Yeah.
But no, this film, even though Ebra himself is not that big of a threat.
A giant shrimp.
The fact that there are so many monsters, the fact that there's so many different environments, the fact that the human plot is interesting, they actually correlate with what's going on in the movie.
Yep. The human dynamic and Godzilla's dynamic are interwoven.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Godzilla is awakened, and that ties back to the humans, and vice versa. There's a lot of connectivity to it, and it's just a fun, entertaining ride. I just find it enjoyable. Also,
just real quick, there's a reason why after this giant space invasion movie, they moved it to a simple island premise because they were like, okay, this is getting absurd. Let's just go smaller scale. And in my opinion, it works better.
Yeah, it's a more personal story, and it works. It has some kooky elements, but still works. Godzilla Bylante, throw that sucker up as an S.
Again, Bylante is incredible, both forms. The plot is actually interesting. The human intro is amazing. I love the score and the soundtrack. Godzilla's intimidating.
Bylante is expertly done. The craftsmanship to bring that monster to life is shocking, and it's executed so well. If only the fight was a little bit longer.
Yeah. I want Bylante to be a little bit longer of a fight as well, but other than that, the film is great, and the whole terrorist idea and the oils and stuff I really enjoyed that plot.
Yes.
Final Wars.
Fun B movie. It's a lot of action, a lot of craziness. If you don't want to,
it's so absurd.
Turn your brain off. Just go watch it.
It's so absurd. It gets above Godzilla's Revenge and stuff like that to B. But that being said, and it has a bunch of fights. The fights are quick though. Yeah. But that being said, it deserves B tier alone for Godzilla killing Zilla.
Yes.
Just alone for that. Any case, next we have Godzilla versus Mothra Battle for Earth. This movie, okay, it starts off with the Indiana Jones ripoff, goes to Mothra Island. Once again, the humans taken on egg because of an environmental company, which again, recycled plot. We again have a Mothra larva that again evolves into Mothra.
It doesn't Batra though. Batra was really cool.
Batra's so awesome. I'm going to throw it a B tier just for Batra. He's literally in larva form, goes toe to toe with Godzilla. Yep. And you think, what's gonna happen when Batra turns into the next form? Batra's gonna beat Godzilla. No. Batra actually becomes weaker in the moth form. But the fight sort of between Mothra and Batra is interesting. The military fights Godzilla, which is again cool. And of course, you have
The whole
Mothra and
volcanic
Batra
eruptions.
teaming up.
Plus, the volcanic eruption scene is just like is very well done. Like compared to like Godzilla vs. Biollante.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of detail in Biollante. There's a lot of detail in Godzilla versus Mothra versus Godzilla and Godzilla versus Mothra.
Also, the asteroid is kind of like a
out of left field.
Yeah, out of left field. But again, take it or leave it. I thought it was an okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's bring up something that I thought was also okay, and I'll put it in C tier.
Son of Godzilla. Yeah, it's okay. It's
For Minya being in this movie and Godzilla's Revenge, it's at least a fun little movie. It has the monsters Godzilla fights, he beats quickly, and there are definitely problems with this, like the whole research island and everything else, and the whole intro having nothing to do with the actual full-length movie with the whole flight coming in.
Yep.
But that being said, it's a dumb little movie. I enjoyed it, and if you like cheesy Godzilla films, it's up your alley.
Yep. Next up, we have Godzilla Raids Again, D tier.
Yeah, this...
I'm not sure if you remember this movie, but it is
We
boring.
saw it.
The fights are too quick. It's the first time Godzilla ever fought a monster, and they did not have it down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird shots, like Godzilla and Gears' spikes go flying.
It reminds me of, like, really cheap 50s or, like, monster movies from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Except it's a Godzilla film. And I know Godzilla sometimes can look cheap, but even cheaper than what Godzilla normally does. I think they rushed this one out, if I recall.
They did.
And that's maybe why. It's not entirely bad, but then they also kind of remove a lot of the main characters from the first film and don't really include them at all. I think they're mentioned or shown briefly, but
it's been a long time since I watched this one.
But overall, I have no recollection of liking that movie, and I've seen clips and I'm like, that looks bad. So again, that one's kind of like a definitely miss.
The one thing I remember the most, enjoyed about that movie, banana oil.
Anyway, moving on, we have Godzilla versus Monster Zero.
Thrown in the C tier.
And again, the whole final 10 minutes is okay, but the whole invasion setup with the Exilians is laughable. It's so convoluted and bad.
It's a sci-fi movie. It's not a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's in essence, it's just a sci-fi invasion movie. It's not really focused on
like
Godzilla.
You can tell the human actors were trying, but they had nothing. And like the whole sound thing, I'm like, okay, whatever. And again, compared to Ghidorah, this movie's a sharp decrease.
Yep. Next up, we have
Godzilla versus King Kong, and I'm gonna throw it up at B tier.
Yeah, it's just
because here's the reason that we're getting a sequel to Kong vs. Godzilla next year because of the legacy of this movie.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, even though
Godzilla is now the front.
They fight twice, and the first time you're like, oh, okay, it's over. And then once King Kong finally gets in that fight and going,
once he gets his groove.
Oh my god, it's good.
Yes.
And again, there's definitely like special effects wise not great, and there's definitely some blackface. There we go, it's blackface. But
not that bad, but yeah.
Oh come on, it's pretty obvious. We made fun of that.
Yeah. But the other thing is, it does have some good jokes in regards to the pharmacist CEO.
Yeah.
There's some good little moments, but the characters are kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
So
it's dumb. It's like Godzilla Final Wars. It's so dumb, it's enjoyable.
Yep. And last but not least, we have Mothra versus Godzilla.
And I'll put this up in A tier.
Yes.
Because I feel like this is where they nailed the monster fights.
They nailed
after
Godzilla being an indestructible force of nature.
Yep.
They nailed Mothra being this deity like God.
Yep.
They nailed the fights. They nailed the special effects when Godzilla fights the military in a variety of different situations.
Mothra larva
weapons.
Actually being Godzilla. Like, again, King Kong might be Godzilla, but King Kong's a giant ape about its size. You're talking about two little worms, and they actually defeat Godzilla with actually some clever tactics.
Yeah.
Cool idea. Military's fighting Godzilla as well, and some of the tactics they thought they could beat Godzilla with, Godzilla overcomes, and you're like, whoa. So, again, really cool premise, really cool idea, and just, again, one of the best 60s Showa era movies.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to throw this one probably up here. This is just our guess. We have no idea. We've not seen the movie. I'm just going to guess it's going to go up there.
Yeah.
So those are our list of monsters.
We're going to watch it. It's going to be a dumpster fire. I'm hoping not. Just because you put it number one.
I'm hoping. In any case, guys, those are our top picks for this Godzilla list. Tell us yours in the comments below, but we hope you enjoyed this long overview of the Godzilla franchise, and let us know if we got any wrong. Any right.
But in any case, guys, Greyshot17
and Greyshot151,
and we'll see you all next time.
Later.
Hello everyone, before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my awesome Patreon supporters that include Tim, Nathan Angus, Jordan Shavit, Jacob Allspy, Aaron Yee, WhiteHotD, Toussaint, Streakingwookie, Sebastian Marszalek, PyroShark, Onlyplayapples, Lil Koosh, jrchicklis, JP Vaal, Josh, Joey G240, Jofo, Chris Bailey, Ace, and Milam. Thank you all for your incredible support, and thank you to the Patreon supporters down below. This has been Greyshot17. I'll see you guys next time.